in a strange way, I feel myself, but I can't be what I sense. And then something...
Oh, you can't be what you sense.
Yeah, it's a bit dissociation, what you talked about. And then what's happening is that the surrounding is becoming more alive. And I would like to know how I can deepen this experience, because it's beautiful.
But the whole secret is to abide in this sense of I am. It's also called meditation. You leave everything behind and you just stay in the pure sense of being. How do you know you exist? This pure sense.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to answer me, how do you know you exist? It's not about that. It's how do you feel that?
But this personality is still there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It will never disappear.
No. But it will lose it will not be the center of the universe anymore when you fully come back to your senses as consciousness itself. So right now, this personality is experiencing consciousness. A fragment of consciousness is talking about consciousness. That is the ignorant state. The moment of awakening, you actually become consciousness itself, and you can talk about the personality from the point of view of consciousness.
It's a shift of...
Yeah, it's a shift, total shift of perspective that I keep on saying that it's not really knowing anything as such. It is, you're changing your perspective of the whole way you see life. Because right now, for most people, life is from the point of view of the ego. My life goes from here, from the body. So I am the body. So the life is out there, it goes from this body. The moment you realize yourself, you realize you have always been consciousness actually. And for a moment this consciousness believed it was this body. And the ego lived in this body. So the body will not go away and the ego will not go away, but you will see it from another perspective. You will see it from no particular place. Because consciousness itself is everywhere. So you will feel that wherever you put your eyes, you are there. So the whole secret is how do we invite this shift of perspective? And there are basically three ways, and I teach them in the Dharma doors on my training. You have the normal dual consciousness, me and what I'm experiencing. There is a subject and an object. There is the man and the object, or the woman and the object. And even if you've been meditating for many, many, many years, you still feel you're the meditator meditating on something. You are, let me just finish, you are sitting there, oh, I'm meditating on emptiness or whatever, but you are still there meditating on something. That's the duality. And it's very, very difficult to go beyond that duality, because there is resistance to that. But if you can take away the object and leave the man, then there will be a shift. Because if you take one of them away, both goes. If you take the object away, there's no subject. That's why people can experience a fear of death in deep meditation, because they go on watching how they grasp and reject. And as they start seeing the grasping and rejecting, they don't cooperate with the rolling of experiences. It becomes more and more quiet. They start seeing through. And there comes a moment where there actually is no object. And there never was really an object. It's an illusion. But you suddenly see it with your wisdom heart. And in that moment, when you see it with your wisdom heart, not with your thinking, but something much deeper, then there is a shift, because then the subject is suddenly also disappearing. And in that moment, there is a whole shift. You become consciousness itself now that plays both the roles. Then you will know you are both the seer and the seen. And it's felt, and that is felt as a oneness with everything. So, take away the object and leave the man. That is one way, and many techniques work on that way. Buddhism basically do that, because they invite you to see that the impermanence of life. Go on looking at the impermanence of life, and that means that the objects are not really there. They are relative. They seems to be there, but as you get in closer and closer and closer, it is not what it appears to be. And there comes a moment when some people can feel fear of death in meditation, because they're coming close to that wisdom that there is nothing really there. And when there's nothing really there, you are also not here, the old one that is identified with the body. Then there is out of the blue there is a shift, like a gentle shock. It can be very gentle, and can also be kind of very strong. Like this. And then things are seen for what they truly are. Then you are back again as consciousness. And then you don't experience life as separated from you. And then you're experiencing it actually as from your heart. That is one way. You take away the object and leave the man. The other way is that you take the man away and leave the object. So what is it to take away the man? It is to inquire, who am I? Who am I? Who is experiencing the world? Who is meditating? Many meditators don't even ask that question. They go on sitting and meditating for 20 years without ever asking the question, who's actually meditating here? Who? That will bring about a big change. So you start inquiring, who am I? Who's experiencing this world? Who's feeling fine? Then you are not concerned about whatever this me is experiencing. You're only interested in the me. You go for the me. And you go on looking, and you go on inquiring, and suddenly, like I told today, you peel the onion. I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm also not this, I'm not that. Suddenly there's no me, and then there's no object either. Again, you realize yourself to be this expanse of consciousness that is no particular place. Because the moment there is a place where it is, it has already become something. It's so difficult to talk about. It is beyond time and space. It comes into the world, but it's not of the world. And it is you. You are that creative reality. You are that. And finally you can take both away, both the man and the object, by seeing both. And that is what we usually call mindfulness. It is a double-directed arrow that whatever you do, you're always aware of the object, but you're also aware of the subject. This is wonderful practice, practicing mindfulness. It means that whatever you're experiencing, you're always experiencing yourself in it. You are experiencing your experiences. That is what it. So this double-directed arrow is mindfulness. That you are both experiencing the object, but also the experiencer. And something we worked a lot with in Pune, that remember yourself. Self-remembrance. You walk down here and you keep on remembering yourself, because you always see objects. They keep on arising. But keep on remembering yourself. It's fantastic. keep on remembering yourself. That is mindfulness. That is taking both away the man and the object. Because suddenly you see there is neither a me or an object. These are the three basic ways to awaken. Because you had to overcome the duality that gets more and more solid. And that's why at a certain time in our life we feel so much in pain, because we are separated from life. The more you grow an ego, the more you discriminate, the more you grow words and concepts and the concern about this me that seems to live in this body, the more pain there is, because you never really are in life. You're always out. And there's competition, there's jealousy, there's comparison, there's anger, there's greed. It's all children of that separation. They are gone in one stroke. All of them. Without having dissolved or solved anything of it. Because they are born out of the sense of separation. Arrogance. We are arrogant because we are nobodies. We pretend to be somebodies. So we go on hiding that pain by being arrogant, because we are actually nobodies. And that's why you always feel weird when somebody asks, "Who are you?" There's nobody there. Then you try to come up with something, and you know very well it's fake. I'm a PhD. But you know, I have 5 children. I'm 50 years old. Next time you sit in a cocktail party, you ask your gentleman beside you, "Who are you actually?" Maybe be a different family gathering.